Hello there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place where I discuss different topics, usually about spirituality, game interpretation, game analysis, and well, other few topics like even dream interpretation. Usually these the topics that I take up the most are my video game projects, but they take a long time to create something because I prefer complexity, and usually it's spirituality and introspection. Okay, learning about yourself and your capability to perceive the world in a right way. Okay, the way you should, not the way you have been taught. Now, speaking about teaching, okay, the point is that this video will be about education. I've been saying in previous videos that things in this reality are in reverse because no one can ever teach you a truth. Okay, the truth is something that usually exists already, and well, it can only be experienced. Okay, ever remember those situations in which people would tell you something, or you would tell people something that you knew it would happen in a certain way, but in your case you simply disregarded those because you were certain that you would achieve them your own way, and well, those people did the same to you, and well, things didn't end up necessarily favorable. And when you learned in the end, okay, that things can go better if done in another way, then you had kind of those, aha moments, okay, the golden nuggets, okay, when you felt that, hey, you're actually, uh, you have actually acquired some understanding. Okay, now why I'm saying this is because until you experience a certain truth, you can only believe it. Okay, and a belief means accepting something without a necessity for proof. Okay, you don't need proof to believe something. Okay, because that's what a belief is. Think about this. Okay, so many people have the belief that they suck because their parents and school, the main culprits of ignorance in this world, okay, uh, these two culprits, okay, tell children that they suck. Okay, they constantly feed them that they suck, and they have children, okay, start using their minds, okay, against themselves. So instead of um, thinking and imagining what they can achieve in this life, they just become self-limitation machines to, keep themselves as small as possible because that's how idiot people work, and that's how they want everyone else to be around them. Okay, that is their expectation, and well, expectation is never a healthy, or very rarely a healthy thing to actually have, especially if you're unconscious in your life. Well, that's never healthy to have in the first place, and especially not for the others. So in this matrix, or in this reality, in this world, whatever you want to call it, okay, in this realm, the point of truth, okay, and everything in this world is basically reversed. So why I'm saying this is because education is also reversed. Why? Well, education stems from a Latin word which is educario, okay, and this word, its translation, okay, it's, if you would find it in a dictionary, it would mean something like to bring out of ignorance. But do you think schools are actually bringing children out of ignorance? No, they're actually diving children into ignorance and also teaching them that it's the only normal. Schools, as we know, have appeared in the 18th century, okay, and well, around the period of the Industrial Revolution, because the state, okay, the center of control, right, that which was controlling the masses of people, required a way to teach people in mass, because now that technology started developing, okay, and the steam age was in full development, there had to be a way to simply turn people into less literate beings, because throughout history they have been kept illiterate because that's the best way to simply you know rule people. Okay, because ignorance, they say, is bliss, but no one asks themselves whose bliss that is. Okay, I think I've made a video on this, but the point is, there will never be ignorant people who are blissful. Just look around. None of them is happy, okay, unless they're faking it. And yes, there are a lot of people who fake it very well, but blissfulness, okay, is the complete opposite, okay, of ignorance. Because if you're ignorant, you're not living life. You're just ignoring life and anything that it can have. Okay? And if you're ignoring everything, how can you be happy about something, right? It's just simply idiotic. It just shows how education simply works. And teaching people the same things and having them do the same thing again and again will breed ignorance in them, because repetitive things are dangerous and they are an ill fortune to the mind. Okay, the brain can't stand doing repetitive things. These have been, researched and studied upon through social programs that have been done. Okay, social research, and there are always these things that are being done. Okay, even more societal research, because everything is nothing else than an experiment in life, and school is also an experiment to see how easily people give in. And once people realize they have been living a lie, instead of helping their youngsters, okay, live even a better life, no, they will fight for them to actually have even a worse life. Think about society as it is. Okay, you need politics to rule over you, but politicians are only pawns, okay, for greater entities to rule them. They only do the dirty work, okay? They only do the propagandas, okay, the agendas that greater people have in store for humanity, okay? And this crab mentality that if I suffer, everyone else must suffer, okay? If I fall, I must take everyone else with me. Well, that is a bad way to live with, because what you're gonna do is give birth to, well, so many other little monsters who might actually become better monsters than you. As I've said in a previous video, ignorance is the birth mother of all evils, because ignorance means nothing else than a lack of responsibility, and school basically rarely teaches pupils to have responsibility. Usually it teaches pupils that they suck, and it teaches them a failure, a fear of failure. Okay, but if you have a fear of failure, you won't be doing anything in life. And that's one reason, because if you're not doing anything for yourself or by your own self, okay, it means that you don't believe in anything of your own, which makes you very prone to falling for everything else that other people bring to you. How? Why? Well, think about it this way. Why do you think so many people fight for, football teams or music genres? All they do is believe in these things, even fanatically, okay? And they just constantly distract themselves. Why do you think society, especially nowadays, is so full with distractions? Because people end up not enjoying their life because it's overly repetitive, and as I've been saying, repetitiveness is dangerous to the brain. If you don't believe me, well, then do your own research and see that, for example, working as a shop attendant, okay, or the shop assistant, the person who works in supermarkets, okay, and has to do that repetitive movement, okay, of lining up the products and then beeping them, to scan them for their prices, right? That is considered a destructive job, okay? But I doubt people are actually paid for that, okay? If you don't believe me, go and watch New Times, I think, by Charlie Chaplin. He actually presents that, okay? Because people in the older times, they would work one single thing all day long. Well, 8 hours as it was the working time, but again, doing the same thing again and again and again, overly repetitively, it simply ruins your mind, okay? Charlie Chaplin hilariously presents that, but his movies aren't necessarily meant to be hilarious only, okay? They are a caricature of how life was back then, okay? And it's been so for so long, and people are simply stuck in this idea that you must work, okay? And this is coupled again with expectations. It goes very deep, and there's basically an octopus of prisons that actually work to keep the human mind enslaved in, well, what the Matrix says, a prison you cannot see, touch, feel, okay? And here, so the point about education is that it actually is breeding ignorance, because, well, it is meant to breed ignorance, because ignorant people are easy to rule. Okay, you just have to give them the impression that they're doing the right thing. Think about people in the medieval times. Okay, a peasant, right, becomes a warrior because they know that they are doing the right thing, and they are killing other people because they think that they are doing the right thing for their own belief. Okay, and then they're also called heroes. Okay, but in their unconsciousness, they're not realizing how much damage they are causing, right? People nowadays, so many people, for example, in the police, they are finding people who are doing the right thing, okay? Because, well, they're ignorant of the fact that, hey, those people are actually doing the right thing, and they prefer diving into the, simpleton aspect that, well, what you are doing is the only right thing, okay? Because that's how the mind works. You feed it some things and it gives you a lot of comfort. I actually made a video about, the mind only feeding only giving comfort to those who feed it, okay? The more you feed your mind is basically the more you give it tools to screw you over, okay? So the point about school, okay, as it is, it's not giving people much choice, okay? It's just breeding them into ignorance, okay? Because it's just teaching them that the teacher's way is the only way, okay? And in many situations, children are even punished, okay? And they are made to feel bad because shame is nothing else than a physical reaction of the body, okay? And children are always ruled by shame, or well, better said, through shame, through guilt and fear, okay? Because fear of failure and shame and guilt that they are not doing like the teacher is saying. Basically, the teacher wants to play God in the face of children, okay? And their ignorance is what ruins society, because children are very young, okay, and they will easily pick up any other behavior because they are, well, defenseless, okay? And if you are ruining a fresh life, a pure life, well, that only turns you into a monster. Either if you are unconscious of that, and especially if you are consciously doing that, okay? So education usually is all about theory, but theory is nothing else than thoughts, okay? Thoughts don't achieve anything alone, okay? In my case, for example, in my country, Romania, there's basically little practice left, okay? Only theory, and so much theory that I think we can easily beat the crap out of any other schooling systems in this world, at least in the sense of, the idea of theory, okay? We are very good theoreticians, but we kind of start lacking this aspect of practice, okay? And so many online courses are also doing this, and that's why so many people are only spoon-fed ideas, okay, and tutorials, but there is very little practice. Everyone shows how they are doing something, but through their own experience. But they're not showing people the baby steps they need to take to reach that so-called level, because again, there is expectations. People expect themselves to be good, and also they manifest, not in the sense of law of attraction, but they feel this fear that if they teach others, they will become better, okay? They're only doing these spoon-feeding tutorials just for a bit of attention, okay? A bit of vampirism never hurts, right? So that is why school is breeding, all these little monsters, okay? School has to be emotion full, okay, not emotionless, because you have unfulfilled people in there becoming teachers and teaching people basically how to be ignorant like them, okay, or even surpass their level of ignorance. Why? Because think about those people, they're doing the same thing again and again, okay? And that proves their ignorance, okay? They're coming to a job, they hate it, okay? They also hate the children in many situations because they believe that those children have all the time in the world, okay? Just because they are children, and it's instead of allowing them to learn things in a beautiful manner, no, what they do is drown them in misery and a lot of homework and stupid expectations, okay? It's basically they are taking vengeance on the pure children who have literally no fault just because they have turned their life into misery. How? Well, they have literally accepted everything that others simply drilled into their head, and in many cases they become conscious of this, but they choose to remain in this because, well, as I've been saying, the mind provides comfort to those who feed it. So people feed it a lot that they suck, okay, and they embrace this belief, which belief means nothing else than accepting things without a necessity for proof. So you have people who end up believing, okay, that they suck, which is a lie, okay? Or, okay, it can be your reality that you suck. Cool. This is the best moment in your life because when you suck, okay, the reason why you suck is because nothing in your life works. So the problem is not that nothing in your life works. The problem is that you're basically doing nothing, okay, to change this. That's the only problem that you have, okay? So it's not that people are taught that they suck and they must avoid failure at all costs because, people will judge them. And worse than that, there's also, that white bearded fucker that religion, Christianity promotes, okay, that will judge them on all their mistakes. Okay, so people live in this idea that, well, everything will judge them, everyone will judge them, so basically life is not worth living. So they simply start ignoring it and, well, they become ignorant, okay, because they believe that ignorance is bliss. They feel that they have a certain bliss because they don't have the struggles of you know, taking responsibility, because school is not teaching people how to be responsible, and as we have leaders, and worse than that, bosses, okay, because leaders are the only ones who take responsibility, okay, and leaders should lead through example, okay, but many people, including politicians, are usually bosses because they don't take responsibilities. They expect others to do their work for them, okay, just like society is. You are expected to do your job as a teacher, okay, but politicians don't teach you anything. They just teach you how to be a pile of ticks, because that's basically what politicians are. They are feeding off of your money. They have turned you complacent into believing that paying taxes is good, and basically what you're doing is you're becoming poorer and poorer by the day, because all currency in this world is losing value, okay, is losing currency power by the year. So basically you're getting the same salary, but theoretically you're becoming poorer and poorer, okay, and people are kept at this level because they are easy to control. Once people become complacent with something, okay, that means consent, and consent means to accept something without fighting. So you have people who embrace the fact that they suck, and they will even fight for that, because once someone becomes complacent, okay, once someone embraces a certain idea, okay, they will even fight for that, because that's how intellect works. Okay, when you embrace a certain idea, your intellect will fanatically fight for it. So you're basically capable of dying for that. So you have unfortunate people who end up believing that they suck, and they will even die for that. That is why they resist, being truly educated. Okay, that's why ignorance will always fight you. So usually ignorance will be, not worth saving in a way, because you should act just like the coastal guard. Okay, when a ship happens to sink, okay, the coastal guard doesn't have necessarily enough vehicles to save all the people. Okay, so usually they save those who will struggle to be seen, okay, who will struggle to be observed and therefore, rescued, okay, who will swim towards those. Okay, because many people will just sit there, okay, will just do nothing and expect to be saved, but that never works. Okay, expectations won't lead you anywhere else than into your grave, and, well, especially with a whole set of disappointments. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Usually school breeds a lot of people who end up believing that they suck, and, well, the problem is that as this grows into them, okay, they believe more and more that they suck, and they will even die for this belief. But if you're willing to die for something, that's also synonymous to you being capable of killing for something. Okay, so you have people capable of dying, therefore killing, for supporting their own ignorance, which shows how twisted and sick this society has become. And this is, well, this has been like this for so many times, okay, countless eons until now, in many parts of the world. So hopefully this video was a nice eye-opener. All these being said, you are loved and appreciated. Feel free to like and subscribe if you like the type of content that I'm creating. Feel free to guide people towards my account if you feel your answers are not enough and you think that my answers can actually help some of your friends. You are loved and appreciated. Take care of yourselves and, well, again, well, you're loved and appreciated. Take care of yourselves. Become introspective to see that whatever you're doing is the best you can at the right moment for you, and the answers have always been deep inside of you, waiting for you to rescue them. Therefore, become conscious of them and no longer stay in the slumber of unconsciousness. All these being said, take care. Ferenc Board signing out.